welcome back. Good to see you all here. Today we are going to talk more about what we started in our previous interaction. If you remember, in our previous interaction we talked about research paradigms, interpretive frameworks, conceptual framework, theoretical framework. In our last interaction we talked, but it was more sort of understanding the overall structure, how they fit into a larger frame of qualitative research. Today we will go deeper into those concepts and we will start our discussion about research paradigms. If you remember, a research paradigm is foundational beliefs, assumptions, perceptions that a researcher holds in the entire process of conducting research. So starting from conceptualization of the research to data collection, data analysis, and dissemination of the information. So throughout this entire process of the research, a researcher holds certain assumptions and beliefs, and those are called research paradigm. And there are many kinds of research paradigms, so we will talk all of those paradigms in our interaction today. Maybe we'll cover one and then we'll move to the other one in our next videos. So today, as you could see on this board, I already put in here positivism. So we'll go into detail about what positivism is, what are those assumptions inherent in this research paradigm. Also, if you remember, in our previous interaction, we talked about there are certain questions that each research paradigm that try to answer. The first question that each paradigm try to answer is, what is reality? What is truth? What is the nature of reality? What we call truth? So that question, in philosophy, we use a word called ontology. The nature of reality, the nature of truth. Is there one reality or are there multiple realities? What is the nature of reality? So we try to answer those questions in each of these paradigms. The second thing that a research paradigm try to answer is the nature of knowledge. What is the nature of truth? What is knowledge? And how do we know the knowledge? And in philosophy, we use a term to denote this, which is epistemology. And finally, the third question that all the research paradigms try to answer is the values and ethics that a researcher holds while conducting research. What are the values they hold when they are doing selection of their participants? What are the values they hold when they are analyzing the data? What is their relationship looks like with their research participant or with the data that they are collecting, with the people they are talking to in the process of collecting data? And we use another term in philosophy, which is axiology. So every research paradigm primarily focus on these three questions: nature of reality, nature of knowledge, and values and ethics inherent while conducting research. So we will cover these three questions in each of the paradigms we talk here. So let's start with positivism. The positivistic philosophers of positivism believe that the world is full of facts and laws. And these facts and laws together determine the reality, physical reality and social reality. So in the nature, in the world, there are all these laws which are working, they are governing, and these governs and determines how the physical and social reality looks like. And as thinking about the nature of reality, the reality that we see in the world is determined by these laws. And they also argue that when you think about reality, the reality is singular. Meaning that there are not multiple realities. There is one truth, one reality. So reality is singular in nature. The second thing they argue that these laws, these facts which govern the physical and social reality, they are out there. They don't change. They are out there irrespective of one's awareness, beliefs, or values. Meaning that these realities are not influenced by a researcher's values or whether a researcher is aware of those laws or not. Think about gravity. Newton's discovered gravity in sometime in 1600. I don't remember the exact year, but he discovered a couple of hundred years ago. The question is, was gravity not there before he discovered it? No, it was always there. Gravity is part of the laws that governs the nature. So it is already there. The reality is already there, irrespective of whether we believe, whether we are aware, or what our values and beliefs that we carry. It is out there. And as a researcher, what we do, we go and uncover these realities. We discover these laws that govern the physical and social reality. The reality, they argue, is singular, meaning that there are not multiple realities. Let's understand this with an example. If you take the example of water, H2O. Now water, fundamentally speaking, is made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atoms. They come together and form water. Now this is singular in the sense like no matter whether you collect water from your home or you test water from your maybe Atlantic Ocean or a river, the water remains same, means the reality is same, singular, that it is made of 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. So reality is singular. Also they argue that reality is fixed, meaning that reality doesn't change. So again, taking the same example, where you analyze water from any source, it is fixed. It has the same configuration at fundamental level as H2O, 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. So reality is singular. Reality exists no matter whether we are aware of it or no matter what our beliefs and values we hold, and reality is fixed. They also shared that reality is universal. Universal in the sense like these laws and facts that govern the world, they are universal in nature. So what applies here, what is applies to one object or one human experience, that applies to others as well. Now, hearing all these assumptions, it seems like this philosophy, this paradigm applies a lot on the physical reality. And that's so true. This is the first research paradigm that is primarily focused on addressing not addressing, but is dominant force in material research or physical research, such as chemistry, physics. So now we discuss about the nature of reality. What is reality according to positivism? Reality is singular. Reality is out there. We as a researcher go out, uncover that reality and bring it to the awareness of and share that knowledge with all of us. Reality is fixed. It doesn't change. What was true 10 years ago, a month ago, is true today. So take example of water. Water H2O, it was true maybe 100 years ago, maybe 1,000 years ago, maybe millions of years ago, and today it's true. So the reality is fixed and reality is universal. What is true about water found in Jacksonville is true about water found in India or Middle East or any other part of the world. So that's some of the key assumptions in this paradigm. Now let's focus on the second question, the nature of knowledge. How do we know knowledge? How do we generate knowledge? So positivists argue that reality can be known through two means: observation and measurement. So as a researcher, to generate knowledge, to understand the nature of reality, we need to do two things. We do objective observation. So as a researcher, we need to go, check out, observe, do the systematic observation, and do measurement. And these two processes will lead to understanding the nature of reality, nature of knowledge, and generate more knowledge, observation and measurement. However, they emphasized a key point that when one is doing observation or measurement, it has to be objective, meaning that my own belief, my own values should not come in the process of those observations. That is why they say it has to be objective observation. And as a researcher, when I'm doing these observations, I need to be detached from this process. So let's say if I'm observing a physical object, let's say this marker, if I'm observing this or doing measurement to understand and generate knowledge about this marker, I need to do it by objective observation and not and in a detached perspective, so that my own beliefs and assumptions should not influence what I am trying to observe or measurement. So detached perspective is a key assumption, belief about how to generate knowledge under positivism. And so in positivism, they focus on objectivity, how to achieve absolute objectivity, how to achieve a minimum objectivity, and they assume that complete objectivity is possible. So positivism, as based on what we have discussed up to now, is it seems like it applies more to study of objects, like the physical objects that we see around us. And so that's some of the key assumptions that we see in this philosophy. The last question, I think we already covered a little bit, values and ethics. As I said, the researcher, while doing research, they have a detached perspective, a detached observation. That is one of the key values to maintain the objectivity in their observation. So as a researcher, let's say if I am try to understand the experiences of, let's say, doctoral student in a doctoral program while I'm doing the research. And if I follow a positivistic perspective, research paradigm, I will have a very detached perspective, in the sense I will not be actively engaged in the research process. I will maintain an objective stance. So I might use tools like some experiment or maybe some sort of data collection methods where I am trying the best to be objective and not reflecting on my own values. I mean, keeping it aside, my values and my beliefs, when I'm doing all these measurements. So that's briefly about positivism. If you have any questions, let me know, and thank you very much.